This is 11:50. Nine.
Good afternoon. This is Vicinity 95.3 FM, Ikejile, Jesha State. Here's the global news at 12. First, the headlines. I am Shodunke Opeyemi David. NAFDAC urges Nigerians to stop storing cooked food in refrigerator. Police arrest demonstrators as hundreds of people protest new tax hike in Kenya. Councils in England forecast massive shortfall in budget for children with special educational needs. Now the details. The Director General, National Agency for Food and Administration and Control, Professor Moji Adeyeye, has urged Nigerians to refrain from storing cooked food in the refrigerator for more than 3 days. Adeyeye warned that cooked food stored in the refrigerator for days would be contaminated by disease causing pathogens, key genes, or foodborne that can lead to death. Adeyeye made this known in a statement. At least 6 persons have been reportedly killed and scores abducted by bandits in Kaduna State. Reports have said that the attack took place in Kajuru local government area of the state. The police authorities in Kaduna State are yet to comment on this incident. However, chairman of the local government, Ibrahim Gajari, said the bandits invaded the community on motorcycles. Meanwhile, Kaduna State Governor Uba Sani has hinted that the military will soon establish 3 new forward operating bases in southern Kaduna. According to him, this is aimed at combating the menace of banditry, kidnapping, and other related security threats in the state. The governor noted that the presence of more military men in the frontline locations will enhance security and enable farmers to have access to their farm without fear. Following the recent outbreak in some Following the recent cholera outbreak in some part of Lagos, the Lagos Water Corporation has initiated comprehensive measures to safeguard public health and ensure access to safe drinking waters across the state. Lagos Water Corporation Head Public Affairs Unit, Kehinde Fashola, said the corporation has commenced an extensive water sampling and quality monitoring campaign throughout the state. Fashola said the proactive initiative aims to assess the safety and potability of water from various sources, thereby identifying potential health risks associated with contamination. Landlords in Ondo now have a mandate to get their house metered. To this effect, the state government has reviewed plans to set up a special offences mobile court to ensure strict compliance. This piece of news was let out of the bag by the Special Advisor on Energy to the Ondo State Government, Johnson Alabi. He said the government was worried over the rising of reports of estimated bills being given to the people, hence the move to have been taken. Alabi noted that once metered were paid for, they will be delivered within 2 days. Global news is reaching you on Vicinity 95.3 FM, Ikejile, Jesha State. The news will continue shortly. Now to the rest of the news. Kenyan police have fired tear gas and arrested at least a dozen demonstrators as hundreds of people gathered near parliament to protest tax hike. The East African economic powerhouse has struggled with a cost of living crisis. Critics say it will only worsen under the levies laid out in a bill to be debated in parliament. The cash-strapped government has defended the move and projected to raise $2.7 billion. This is equivalent to 1.9% of gross domestic product as a necessary measure to curb reliance in external borrowing. From Chad comes this report that a fire at an ammunition depot has caused the death of a good number of people. The weapon depot in the country's main arsenal is situated near the military headquarters, the French army base and airport. President Mohamed Idris Deby has expressed his condolence to the victims and their family. He promised that an investigation would be carried out. Councils in England are forecasting a massive shortfall in budget for supporting children with special educational needs. The councils are facing a deficit of almost £1 billion in schools fund for these pupils. Parent groups say they fear children could suffer in a push to cut deficits as demand rises at the same time as councils are facing a growing pressure on their budget. Russian President Vladimir Putin has landed in North Korea. His visit to North Korea is to boost defense ties between the two countries as Moscow pursues its war in Ukraine. The two countries have been allies since North Korea's founding after World War II and have drawn ever closer since Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022. United States President Joe Biden has announced a new potential citizenship path for immigrants married to the US nationals. He is seeking to be tougher on illegal migrants. It will interest you to know that the Biden administration has been struggling to address immigration. This is a heated issue for many Americans ahead of November's presidential election. Biden's action was immediately condemned by the Republicans but hailed by immigration reform activists. The new rule will streamline the processes for those who already qualify for the permanent residence. A court in Iran has sentenced the jailed Nobel Peace Prize winner Nagas Mohammadi to an additional year in prison. According to a lawyer, the additional year was slapped on her following a comment she made about a student who was tortured and assaulted by security force. Ms. Mohammadi had refused to attend the trial, denouncing it as unjust. She was earlier convicted of spreading propaganda against the system by a breach of Tehran Revolutionary Cult. Just before we go, a quick look at the major highlight of the news. The Director General, National Agency for Food and Administration Control, Professor Moji Adeyeye, has urged Nigerians to refrain from storing cooked food in the refrigerator for more than 3 days to avoid food contamination. We also told you that Kenyan police have fired tear gas and arrested at least a dozen demonstrators as hundreds of people gathered near Parliament to protest tax hikes. And he also added councils in England are forecasting a massive shortfall in budget for supporting children with special educational needs. That is the global news which came to you on Vicinity 95.3 FM, Ikejile Jesha State. Thank you for listening. On behalf of the news production supervisor, Whitson Akpabio, I am Shodunke Opeyemi David, asking you to stay tuned.
In the state of the living spring, right on the